And you are just in time for our health segment right here on Good Morning Kenya. Thank you for staying with us. And as I had mentioned at the very beginning of the show, today we'll be having a quite sensitive conversation as we get to talk about SGBV, that is sexual gender-based violence, and the silent trauma that it is in some Kenyan homes. And we're calling it the shadow pandemic, and we'll get into that so that we get to understand why are we calling it a shadow pandemic. And I am pleased to be joined by Dr. Maureen Charagu. Dr. Maureen is a medical doctor, the Pediatrics and SGBV Clinic Department at the Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Vivian.
It's a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
And let's shed light on this very sensitive conversation that is usually spoken in harsh tones, but we are changing that today.
Yes,
we are speaking about it, and we're going to be loud about it. Maybe we can just begin by setting base and getting to understand what exactly we mean when we talk about sexual gender-based violence.
Thank you so much, Vivian. I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity as KUTRH. To come and have this discussion that is very important for our country and the entire world. So I'll start with gender-based violence. Yeah. Gender-based violence is violence or based on gender, okay? It can be male, female, yeah? And then we have sexual gender-based violence, which is violence based on issues around sex and family or marriage, or relationships, okay? Or even people who you don't know, okay? That's what gender-based violence is. Yeah. But it's not just about sex, but there are other things that can happen as well.
What are these other forms of sexual gender-based violence?
Other forms of sexual gender-based violence, we also have refugees, and we come from different cultures. So things like female genital mutilation, that is done for women. Also, they can use various objects to actually act in, for the perpetrator may do other things that are criminal or in line or in keeping with violence. Yes.
All right. So today we're calling this in our conversation, we are calling it the shadow pandemic. Why are we calling it a shadow pandemic?
So Vivian, a shadow is seen to the person who's very close to the shadow, right? So sexual gender-based violence or even gender-based violence has a lot of stigma in community, in families, or even in an organization. It can happen there. In refugee camps, in large communities. So it's a shadow pandemic because, physical violence, we're able to see a bruise, we're able to see a broken leg, okay? We've seen it in various TV and the media about physical abuse. But now a shadow is within the family. It's something that is hidden. Unless you actually go to the family and see what is going on, then you'll understand that actually there's been violence, but we are not able to see it. Yeah, that's what I would explain it as.
Yeah. Would you say it's widespread? Is sexual gender-based violence widespread in Kenya at the moment?
At the moment, I do not have the most recent statistics, but we know worldwide it's usually 1 in 2, 3 women are involved in sexual gender-based violence, and in gender-based violence, and around 1 to 10 are involved in the numbers, the ratios in sexual gender-based violence. So it is, I think the numbers would be higher, but there's a lot of stigma that comes with it. People have also fear when they come for help, or maybe they've been threatened, so the number might be higher, but it's just because that is what we have for now. In terms of statistics.
Yeah, it is one of the cases actually that is mostly unreported, and we'll get into that, you know. But, I want us to also clarify this, because many a times when you talk about sexual gender-based violence, the assumption for most people is that it's sexual, female-based violence.
Yes.
But when we talk about sexual gender-based violence, it's not only on the female side.
No.
Both the male and female get affected by this. So if we can just speak about that.
So sexual gender-based violence can occur to anyone, okay? Whether you're a lady, whether you're a man, whether you're a grandmother or grandfather, a child, a small baby who's just been born, even now we have the emerging LGBTQ issues, where we have the she, her, she, him, or, those can actually happen to anyone, yes. It's not just about women.
So it's not really just about women.
It's not just about women.
It's all together.
It's everyone. Yes, all together.
Yeah, and actually reports also say that the most sexual gender-based violence that goes unreported is from the male side. And it's because I think of the kind of stigma that comes with that. Someone assumes, what do you mean? You're a man, Yes. So there's that too. Would you say that stigma is one of the biggest things that or challenges that is standing between maybe people reporting these cases mainly? Yeah.
For women, I think we have groups. Women like to talk. They have friends they're very close to. They go to church. They live with an auntie who they trust. They're able to open up. So we have higher numbers of women reporting these issues, but they're still low, okay, because of other things that influence that. But for men, there are fewer, because in Kenya, our culture, we actually have this saying that says, "Mwanaume ni kung'ang'ana, kujikaza, kuvumilia, be a man," So there's also this issue about even women can be abusive to men. We've had those situations. So men, because of that, the way society thinks that a man should be very strong and handle this issue, we have less of them reporting because of fear, stigma, and I think also their ego is affected. And mentally they become more psychologically affected, especially because men tend to not have friends or very close friends who they can open up to. We have less men going to church. We have those social, economic issues that, a man should be the breadwinner, all those things. So,
I get you on that. Now, let's talk about now the department that you are in at the hospital.
Yes.
What is this department all about, and how are you helpful to someone who may be, facing such abuse?
So the department I work in is called, it's under the Director Clinical Services, KUTRH, where they support patients who have gone through sexual gender-based violence. And it's a collaboration with Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital and Medicine Sans Frontiers, which is commonly known as MSF. So we call it the Tumaini Clinic, which runs, there's usually 24 hours services provided. And the Tumaini Clinic, apart from medical part, we also offer, we are also required to counsel the patient. This is a very sensitive issue. We run and we encourage survivors to come within 72 hours. We don't ask them for money. It's free of charge.
Oh, it's free of charge.
Yes, it's free of charge.
Who's experienced sexual abuse.
Yes, because already sexual abuse is, you're already traumatized. You are not prepared for this. So you just come as you are. And we're having, nationally, the Ministry of Health, we have guidelines around sexual gender-based violence. We have the Constitution, we have the judiciary that, is, and the Ministry of Gender and also the Ministry of Health. So nationally, we are well, and also the police. So we collaborate with many multidisciplinary departments and sectors. So it's not just about, a patient can come or a survivor can come and they have a physical injury. So we have to look at the survivor holistically, the physical, the medical part, and the social issues that the patient has. So we are able to offer counseling. We are also able to prevent issues that come with sexual gender-based violence, especially when it comes to penetration, okay? So there are diseases that a survivor can get, such as HIV, hepatitis B, sexually transmitted diseases. The most common one people know is gonorrhea, syphilis. There are others like chlamydia. Also tetanus we have to prevent. So we actually also offer some treatment to these patients or survivors so that we prevent even unwanted pregnancies. So contraceptives, because this is trauma and we do not want to inflict more emotional damage. We want to work this patient in towards healing and recovery. Yeah.
You've given that time window of 72 hours. Does it mean that that is when treatment is most effective? I would like you to elaborate further on why it needs to be ASAP, as soon as possible.
So it needs to be within 72 hours because, again, disease time is very important when it comes to prevention of disease. So, again, some medication that we use for treatment, they're more effective within the 72 hours. So if we want to prevent pregnancy and we're using emergency contraception, we need to use it within 72 hours. How do we prevent HIV? Okay, we have to go through with the survivor, understand, do they understand HIV? Can they give us consent to test for HIV? So if we test and they don't have HIV, then we can offer them something called pre-exposure prophylaxis or post-exposure prophylaxis, which is an ARV specifically made or given to prevent patient developing HIV disease. So, and it's given within 72 hours. After that, we really don't give. Again, we have the contraception issue. So we also, we want to prevent pregnancies and unwanted pregnancy for that matter. That's why 72 hours is very important. And also within 72 hours, you'll have the survivor. Maybe we usually encourage they come as they are. Do not shower, do not change your clothes, because you have evidence with you. So when you shower, when you take a bath, when you change your clothes, all that goes away. Okay? And we have to collect some samples, one for the government, the forensics, that's the DNA, because that's forensic evidence. We leave it to the legal team. And then we also take to test, for other, whether there's seminal fluid, semen, or we can test that on a microscope. So it's important, once a patient comes on time, we take all those clothes and we are able to gather evidence and give it to the forensic departments to follow it up.
So you clearly work closely with the law enforcement side, right?
Yes.
So for someone who's experienced this kind of abuse, when they come to the hospital, can you treat them before they go report to the police? Or there's that, there's usually that, I don't know if it's actually what it is or it's just a myth, that when you go to hospital, you'll be turned back to go first to the police to report, and then you come back to hospital. So if you can just clarify on that.
So I'd like to let the viewers know that we value you just coming as you are. We approach this matter with a lot of respect, a lot of dignity of care, kindness and compassion. So, and we are we ensure that the matter is handled confidentially. And we prefer you to come first to us. We can give you counseling. It's a very traumatizing incident. But if someone goes to the police department is well trained in gender matters. So there's a section or a department that the police has specifically for gender-based violence issues, and also sexual gender-based violence falls into that. When the matter goes to the police, then the police are also able to send them, because they'll document it, everything, but they'll send them with their post-rape forms that we fill. So they come so that they were able to take a history from a medical expert, and that history, in case this matter is reported if this survivor wants to pursue the matter legally, then we use that history with other documents like the P3 forms from the police, so that the matter can be followed up in court for justice for the patient, for the survivors.
Yeah, so you work closely with them, and
yeah.
I mean, immediately it happens. If you can get to the hospital,
yes,
the better.
The better. That's the best.
That's the best way to go about it. Then you can report afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to the police is not an emergency as getting the medical care, because prevention is better than cure.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Now, what would you say are some of the gaps that are still yet to be filled when you talk matters SGBV specifically in our country?
Yeah. I think some of the matters that yet to be filled is that the way we study history about Hitler in high school. There's some things that we need to learn as young as we're in primary school, about what is sex education, so that children actually know if this and this happens to you, just come to me as a parent or as a guardian, and it's an offense that has been committed, it's violence, So we have those issues in terms of education and knowledge about sexual gender-based violence. Again, we have elderly people. Sometimes we also have people who are mute, and they cannot talk, they cannot say. So we've had an incident of such a patient, and that's the time you involve experts who are good in sign language. Disabled people are also, sometimes can get violated. So some of the gaps that we have is we have those minority groups. We have survivors coming from refugee camps, and that's where they can only get food. Sometimes people, the level of poverty, or because of the unemployment that we have, you find people will actually get coerced, or controlled sex for fish or for food, or even pocket money. Or we've had cases in workplaces where there's harassment for a certain position. But I would also like to say that we need a lot of political and judiciary advocacy for this issue. So we need to talk about it like we talk about elections, okay? Like we talk about employment issues. So there's a political aspect, the economic aspect. We need to collaborate as much as we can with different sectors to actually fund these hospitals, to fund the police, to motivate the police, so that people are aware that, you'll get help, even for police to be trained on mental health, how to approach a patient, so you don't have a patient fearing or a survivor fearing to go there. Another issue is we also have technology. Yeah,
that's true now. I
think nowadays a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old is already using a mobile phone, and we have perpetrators who are already in the digital space. So we have social media issues. Yeah,
and there's also sexual grooming online that's happening currently.
Yes, and then there are threats. If you don't do this, I will expose you online. Okay, so there's also that technological bit. There's the economic part, where someone is a breadwinner and they emotionally abuse the partner, or financially abuse. There's also economic abuse. So it's not just about sex, it's about power, control, about financial control. So you find that even survivors staying because they either love this person, they are there for their children, or they have no money for them to actually start over. Yeah.
And speaking of help and just creating awareness that there's help out here, you had mentioned to me earlier on that the department that you are in, which offers this help, this kind of help, is quite new. It started this year?
Yes, for our hospital.
Yes.
In March, we launched it in March with various stakeholders from the government, including the police. and other hospitals around us, and MSF as well.
Yeah, so to think that it's such a new department, and this is something that has been ongoing, it shows that there's still so much gap when it comes to help.
Yes.
After, you know, for the survivors, for the people who have gotten to experience this kind of abuse, or for someone who's actually experiencing it. So maybe are there other places where someone can go ask for help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to say that we are lucky to have public hospitals under the government that offer sexual gender-based violence. And our sisters and brothers in terms of organizations, we have the Kenyatta National Hospital that offers these services for free. And they have the psychological aspect. There's a medical part and the psychological well-being that is taken through. There's also, you know, there are sections that they have the adolescent clinic for mental health. There's the child wellness clinic that KNH has. And I believe Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, all these hospitals, as long as there's a mental health department, they do. Ours is new, and we appreciate it because we are growing. We're not as old as Kenyatta, but we are lucky to offer these services. We also do have private hospitals that do offer these services. So all doctors who are trained in Kenya, after graduation, and they go through internship, they know how to assess patients and offer the best service to patients. It's that the issue might be the hospitals in the periphery or in different counties, they might not have a department called sexual gender-based violence, but there's a way they can collaborate with the maternity or what we call obstetric and gynecology department, internal medicine, pediatrics, based on the patient age and how they can handle it. Are there warning signs that one may be able to tell that maybe there's abuse happening in this home, or, you know, with this person? Are there warning signs? Warning signs, usually you find for women, they might be very silent. Then if someone was very outgoing before, maybe they had a partner or they got married, you find they'll be less, they'll isolate themselves. They'll be less, for children, for example, there'll be fear. For children, when they go to school, you find they might be doing badly in school, or they were performing, they were A students. So there are signs, sometimes anxiety signs, maybe someone you're working with, and you find that they are very anxious when handling an issue, or they see a gentleman, or they see there's something that that might take them back to that scenario. So those are some of the issues that or signs that can be seen. Again, it's not a physical, there's no physical evidence. It's more emotional, and it's hidden. We cannot see it. It's a struggle, but we need to have an environment that is psychologically safe for people to open up.
Wow, okay. I can see some messages are coming in via our WhatsApp line, which is actually on our screen, 0707 303 212. If you have any questions that you may like to ask concerning or regarding the same, you may be free to do that on our WhatsApp number. Someone is saying, the shadow pandemic plus others going to hospital first, the victims get overtaken at police stations, the offenders report first and overturn the case. There's that too. All right, that is Carl Martins. Thank you for sharing, Carl. And then we have this other one saying, how can I be able to reach out to them at Kenyatta University for help? That's Pamela from Moy's Bridge. Daktari will talk. We'll mention that, where you can be able to find help through them. And how does Tumaini Center work? Okay, I don't know if that is also, okay. She'll also be able to answer that. If you've got any questions regarding the same, feel free to ask them via that WhatsApp line. So, Doc.
Yes.
Pamela is asking how they can be able to just reach out for help through you.
So sexual gender-based violence is an emergency. no human being deserves violence. Okay? So you can find us, Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital is along Northern Bypass. And once you arrive, you need to go to the accident and emergency where they can triage the case, and we can, you'll be taken to a place where we actually review you with a lot of privacy and confidentiality, and no one needs to know. Yes, that you're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's someone who had asked about the Tumaini Center and how that works. So
Tumaini Center is open 24 hours. We do have, so it works, once a survivor is around the hospital and they're taken to Tumaini Clinic, we offer various services, as I've said. We'll do the medical assessment and see how you are medically and treat according to the issue that or prevent the issue that might develop in the line of in the medical line. But we also do ensure that we offer counseling and mental health management and care, so that you're able to. That is actually trauma, and trauma is different for everybody, and sometimes recovery from trauma can take 1 month, some can take 2 months, some 1 year, some 10 years. So when you come, we do the counseling. We also do reviews. You're given return dates so we can help you accordingly. And we also do have referrals. So if the matter is too heavy for us to manage, we do involve the national hospitals like KNH as well. But the government also comes in, and it's actually, they ensure that the service is offered for free. So you don't have to think about how much you're going to pay. You just come and we'll offer the service to you. Yeah.
All right. I believe that Bridget, Pamela, and we didn't answer Carl. Carl had mentioned about the offenders being the first ones to go report. I don't know if you are the best place to answer this, but some overturn the case, while maybe the survivor or the person who has been abused is taking care of their health first before they go report. Then the perpetrator decides to go report the case first.
So usually, those are kind of manipulative tactics from the offender or the perpetrator. I believe the police is able to understand the case, and they will listen to each person who's reporting. But when a survivor comes to us, the offender has no business knowing that you've come to us. Okay? Our priority is to give the best care to this survivor. So we are very keen on privacy and confidentiality. We do not alter. Actually, when you're taking a report from a survivor, we write it as how by how they say or they report the history. We don't alter or summarize it. So that is what we feel in our post-rape form. And that is evidence enough for the court. So the court uses that post-rape form, and also the P3 forms. There are various forms that we actually fill for medical legal issues and forensic evidence. We also do, remember I told you we take 2 samples. We have the hospital sample, and we have one sample that is, we do DNA. It's taken to the government chemist by the police. And there's also various records. Who has taken this sample as the police? They have to write it down. Who is handling it? So there's accountability that sample is not lost, that sample is not altered. So once it's the case continues and it goes to the court, they're able to ask for forensic evidence. What's the result on this DNA? Even things like hair. Remember I told you, do not shower. Hair or any evidence that we may collect and give to the police can be assessed by forensic experts and pathologists as well.
All right.
So altering, that will be determined by the judicial system, but for us, we offer the best we can in terms of medical care. Yes.
And there was actually a push for, such cases, the sexual based cases or sexual gender-based violence cases to have separate courts. There was a push for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe from Justice Martha Koome, Chief Justice Martha Koome, and we've seen other judges like currently the Supreme Judge Njoki Ndung'u. We know her work in human rights and the gender issues. I think when you go to court, the courts that we have, and I pray that the government is able to develop this judicial system and support them, because we need actually courts that just handle sexual gender-based violence matters as a matter in dignity. We don't need to be mixed with so many people in one room with different cases, others agriculture related, business related, others, maybe they were thieves, others are mad, homicide related. This matter needs privacy, because again, people will fear who is listening, who's in this room.
That's true.
So, and it's a matter you don't want to increase the trauma to this survivor or harm. Yeah, because remember, the harm is invisible. We're not seeing it. So we have to be very compassionate on how we handle. And compassion begins with us giving them their own psychologically safe space to, give us information, and for the judicial system to handle it with dignity. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that will come to fruition.
I believe there are some courts. I'm not so sure. I'm not a lawyer or a person who works in the court, but there are some courts that actually have implemented that. I think, but I'm not so sure which ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of support, maybe just for the people who are maybe around the survivor, from the family members to maybe the friends, those around them, what kind of support should they be offering to the survivor?
So the support to a survivor is survivor-centered. So survivor-centered support means that you offer them a safe space where they can share what they have. So you tell them, I hear you, we can talk, we can, even shelters. Actually, these places we have for patients or survivors who have been abused and they're not able to go home, they are sheltered. And if the hospital is not able to shelter them for a very long time, they can send them to national hospitals. So you can offer shelter at home. For men as well, I've encountered men who have been abused. There are shelters as well. Please do not fear. The hospitals have shelters. MSF clinics offering gender-based violence care also do have shelters for men. So I hope I've answered your question.
You have actually. And still on the same line, this is something that may actually even be lifelong in terms of what it does to someone's well-being, mental well-being. So the support services available after, and that is one of them where you talked about the shelters for someone who's maybe experiencing this and it's in their home. So there's the shelters. Are there other services that are after services, support services available after?
After?
Yeah, after they've come to the hospital, they've already been treated.
Yes.
Are there services that are offered after?
After, usually it's mostly reviews. Where you're reviewed in a clinic, you're given a return date. Medically, that is what we do. But there are also shelters, I believe, some non-governmental organizations have that support women or men, and they can be given opportunities to actually earn an income in those, or learn a skill to earn an income, and they don't have to go back to where they were before. Again, I think that's the best I can answer for now. But I can imagine the counseling can be, ongoing. Yeah, counseling is ongoing. Counseling, if you go to Mathare Hospital, you might find free counseling that is there. So mental health, health. There's no health without mental health. And health is about physical, mental, and social well-being. So if families can support their survivors on giving them maybe a better job, or supporting them, giving, even for families, they can support their own, and handle the matter. Community elders can be taught about this issue and how they can handle conflicts and mediation and all those things. But that is what I can say for,
All right. As we finalize on the conversation, maybe what would be your message to a survivor who's watching us right now, and also maybe for someone who's facing abuse as, you know, in the moment, maybe they keep facing it in the house or elsewhere. What would be your word to those two people?
Oh, to any listening survivor who's out there, I'd like to tell you that we are very sorry for what you've gone through. It's something that is very traumatizing. I'd also like to tell you that there is hope, and you should not fear, because violence is not love. Violence is violence. So if you're experiencing this issue, please go to a hospital that is close to you within 72 hours, especially if it's sexually related. And also report to the police. Have it on record, and then that matter can be followed and you can get justice. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Your final remarks?
My final remarks is this is a public health issue. This is a human rights issue. This is a societal issue where we should all be involved, and we should ensure that every person in Kenya understands what sexual gender-based violence is, and offer the best support we can to them, whether it's medical, whether it's judicial, whether it's in terms of law, in parliament. We can have the parliament having better laws to handle this matter. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
And not be afraid. Don't be silent.
Most importantly.
Yeah, no silent. Vunja kimya. Yes.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Thank you so very much for joining us for this conversation. And I echo what Dr. Charagu said. Do not be silent. Do not suffer alone. There's help out here. Just seek the help, and you will be able to receive that help that you need at this specific time. Now, this is where we end this conversation, and I want to finalize together with my colleagues Mike and Victor, and they also had different conversations this morning. We've had quite a packed up show. Victor in the morning was speaking matters politics, and specifically there was a versus. There was intention versus expectations.
Yes.
And we also had Mike speaking about land succession. If we may just begin with you, Victor, you know, if you can just sum up what came out of that conversation as we finish.
My panelists were Bernard Kitur, MP, that is Nandi Hills constituency, Wafula Mutacho, Ford Kenya chairperson, Trans Nzoia, and political analyst. I also had Anthony Gitonga, who is a political analyst. He's also vying for a political seat in Othaya, and Frank Nyamari, who is an advocate of the High Court. Let me just give you a quick update. One of the viewers said, I'm just going to give one of the feedback very fast.
Yes,
he said that the Nandi MP is not Frank. How did the Nakuru-Egerton flyover come about if the road was not expanded? How about the Mau Summit-Kericho Junction flyover about? I have been using that road from 1992. Another one is mimi naitwa Evans kutoka this Kiswahili is so hard. Wanajua Mheshimiwa William Ruto amefanya kazi, sisi tunataka uongozi bora. Fine. There's another gentleman here called Chief from Uganda. His number starts from +256 770 and ends with 548. He says that he is watching the show from Kampala, Uganda. He admires Kenya's politics. That is Chief from Uganda. A quick update. What happened is that politicians will always give intentions, that is, to be elected. But Wanjiku, who is a voter, has an expectation. And that is why I had to put him on the spot so that they can give us the real deal. Are they going to deliver what they're promising? And as you've heard, they said that yes, hope and promises is what sells in politics. So that was that. Tomorrow is another day. We'll have a very good show.
I love that, and I love that we have this conversation, and they're specifically for our viewers, for the Wanjikos who are in charge, actually, of everything else around this country.
Yeah,
Mike?
Wanjiku must know that power belongs to them. In fact, let me just say, you as a voter, as a Kenyan, power belongs to you. Article 1, it's as simple as that. So, Make a good choice, Mike.
Very important. And the conversation I was having centered around matters of land succession, and that conversation I was having with Engineer John Mrutu, who is the chair Agricultural Finance Corporation, and the whole idea is to make sure that the process, he's looking forward for reforms within matters that pertain to land succession to make it more administrative as opposed to more legal. Because when it comes to matters of land succession, many people are living on land whose title deeds are in the names of people or relatives who passed on quite a long time ago. So that process, and one of the feedback that he got, because he has interacted with feedback from Kenyans, is that the process is too expensive. And number two, there are Kenyans who do not really know about matters of land succession. They do not know where to begin. So that is what we were talking about, and the idea is to reform matters of succession so that you do not transfer one problem to the next generation. Yeah.
Love that. And you know, one thing about the conversation that I am just from having with Dr. Charagu is the fact that, you know, just to let it be known out there that despite this topic being a topic that has been a sensitive conversation for the longest, being a topic that has been really hidden under the carpet for so long, it's time for us to break the silence. And it's really good to once again put it out there that in case you're experiencing any kind of sexual violence, just know that there are hospitals that are offering free services for this. So do not stay in the house, do not be silent about this, just go to these hospitals. As the doctor has mentioned, almost all public hospitals are offering that. So don't be silent, just break that silence. We need to break it. And this is where we are ending this conversation. Now I don't know what you'll be doing with your time, Victor, as the football lover. Football is over. Now what are you doing with your time?
No. WAFCON is coming up.
Exactly.
WAFCON is coming up.
And Harambee Starlets?
So Octopus Olo continues.
Octopus is fully recharged.
Comes back shortly. Anyway.
And very soon we'll start the EPL. Thank you for watching.
This. Thank you for watching.
All right.
See you tomorrow, God willing.
Octopus Olo.
Wherever is Mike Bigwe.